Hey guys. Oh my gosh, has it really been like 3, 4 years since the last time we were able to talk? This is crazy. So here I am. I actually had hoped to do this as a live stream, but I couldn't get my laptop to work with the Wi-Fi. So, hopefully this will upload okay, and I'm sorry that this keeps shaking. It's on a table. How's everyone been? I mean, 3 years, that's a lot of time for things to happen. 3, 4, 3? No, 4. It's a certain amount of time since we've seen each other, and I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're all enjoying whatever stage of life you find yourself in, and I'm so glad that we get to come back together to talk about Bound by Shadows, that we still have something to do. So I'm just going to give you guys some updates on just me and life, and talk about the show, some questions I'm going to answer that you guys posted on the Instagram page, and give you an update on the web series. I'm currently outside on my porch because I really wanted to enjoy the rain, but I'm going to check the audio in a second and make sure that this isn't echoey too much since I'm in the corner, and I have a feeling it is. So take a second, grab some tea, and hit pause if you need to go fix yourself some tea with me and talking about the show. All right. So in case you can't tell, we had to change scenery. Who would have thought it's loud outside when it's rainy? So, welcome back. Took you probably 2 seconds for it to transition. Took me about an hour to get this ghetto setup going. All right. You know, I actually had filmed this like 5 different times, and so because I really don't want to film it again, I'm just gonna keep plowing through this. It doesn't matter what I say, we're just gonna keep the train rolling, keep it going, and that's just how it's gonna be. All right, so it's probably not gonna be the most refined video you're gonna see. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. So welcome. And so where do I begin? If you can't tell, I'm in a new place. If you haven't seen my posts on Instagram, I've been pretty busy renovating and fixing up this place for me, and it's been a wild ride. I mean, I was originally supposed to be in a different place, then literally U-Haul ready to go down here, and stuff fell through with it, and I won't go into too much detail about it, but it didn't work out. And my coworkers jumped in to help me and save me. They opened up a home for me to stay at while I was getting around to figuring out where I was gonna live for real. And then another one opened up their garage and let me store all my stuff in the U-Haul there. And finally it's all here, and now I'm just in the very long process of unpacking it all by myself and going through all this stuff. And yeah, so I'm currently using a lamp shade that is broken and whatnot for lighting, and yeah, so here we are. And my computer is still in its box over there, which brings me to Bound by Shadows. I am currently waiting for the desk to arrive so that I can set it up, because my baby here, she may look good, but she ain't. She's on her last leg, and I fully expect for her to join some MacBooks in the sky in a couple of years from now. Possibly even sooner, just because it's getting so slow. A lot of Bound by Shadows was edited on her. I don't know why I gave her a gender, but there you go. It's probably because of Siri, but you know, Because of that reason, it's made editing on it just really impossible. And because I literally don't have a surface to put my computer on quite yet, besides this coffee table, which really scares me because the glass on the top of it's not secured to the trunk. And so my biggest fear is pushing that glass in my Mac. Like I said, I'm just waiting for that to happen. Once it does, a lot of things will start moving. Luckily at work, we do have a learning period that we have like an hour that we can devote to learning something new, and I've been kind of devoting to learning how to do some new things for editing on Bound by Shadows so that it's ready to bring from there over onto the drive that I have everything saved on for Bound by Shadows, so that it can just go a little quicker. That being said, I should need a few days for it, just a matter of when. Because I just recently looked at my schedule coming up for production for a lot of things to do with work, and we're gonna be pretty busy filming. I think one day we're filming till 4 a.m. and then we have another day that is back-to-back film days, and then another film day and another film day, and it's like, okay. And that's spread out across different weeks as well. The hope is that as soon as I get the desk and all that crap back there out of the way to put the desk in its position where it needs to go, put the Mac on it, load her up, get going, and working on it hard, that'll go by pretty quickly. And I'll give you the stuff, the final details on that in a second. But I just remembered I also wanted to do some Q&As from the questionnaire that I put on Instagram. If anybody had any questions that they wanted to ask me about the series, I'm gonna go ahead and answer those now. Oh, okay. I'm just looking at the names now. Like some of these, okay. Rose Comrade. You've been like a really loyal fan, so it's really cool that you've stuck around this long. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Rose Comrade, she asked a few questions on here. Did you have to shoot some new scenes after the previous one was released, or will you use the old clip? I wonder if she means for this last episode if I had to reshoot anything. We didn't reshoot anything. All the stuff that we shot is still from back when we originally were shooting the series, which we tried to shoot most of it in order, but there were some things that had to go out of order just depending on the location. A lot of it was just primarily based on, you know, who was available, when certain places were available for us to film at, and kind of going from there, working on, okay, will we shoot it to help the actors, like doing episode 1 first and then episode 2, or are we gonna have to kind of, you know, finagle? So, no, a lot of things will be used from previous stuff. The only things that are gonna be new are probably gonna be just some slight special effects tweaks, if I can get to them. If not, it's going to be a lot of the copy and paste stuff that the freelance special effects person was able to do for me for a little bit. I had given him some notes to improve them more, but I never heard back from him. So I'm probably just going to use that first edit that he gave me, just in the interest of speeding things along and getting you guys the final episode. How did you decide about the plot twist in the last episode? So, okay, this was something that, like, I had talked to back when Ashley Haynes was on board about wanting to mix it up and do something different with it. And I really pushed for this too, because to me, it it's less interesting to have a villain that you don't know much about, but it's more interesting for there to be some personal stakes in it for the characters. So when I was thinking back and helping her write some of the stuff, because originally we were going to do some more mini episodes, originally she had me writing season 2 because she didn't have time to write, and then she ended up having time to write, and she pulled from some of my ideas, and then we came together and she mainly formed season 2, but we couldn't get to, she couldn't get to the point where she could write the last 2 episodes. So I very much fought for this idea because, like I said, it's just so much more interesting when the stakes are higher. And I wanted to see more of who Christian was. I mean, we know he's an outcast, a bad boy, and that his parents did this and that, but what does that look like? And I know that the book kind of made it a bit final and that they're definitely dead, but what if? You know, like Marvel's doing the whole what if. Okay, so what if his parents actually did get away? So yeah, it was just to see a new side of Christian, to see how much he would fight for it if he would, and to get to see what his parents are like and what, you know, somebody close to you looks like when they've turned evil like that. So yeah, that's how I decided on that. Were you scared that the fandom might not like the twist in the last episode? Love the twist, by the way, thank you. That's good to hear. Maybe part of me was, but at the same time, I knew how much I loved the plot twist. So it wasn't really at the forefront of my head that people wouldn't like it. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the second book, but like I said, I really wanted there to be something more to this villain that was in the second book. And with that in mind, and as a writer, you kind of just have to write what you think is entertaining and knowing your target audience at the same time. And because I knew that you guys know the book so well, and because, you know, you don't really get to know some of this part of Christian, I figured it might be interesting for all of us to explore and see what that looks like. So yeah, I just a little, maybe at one point, it's hard to remember now because it's been so long, but let's see. Do you show this web series to the people you meet at like your work, neighborhood, etc.? Let me think. I talk about it. I do for sure talk about it, but do I actually show them it? It depends. Depends on who they are. If they're, you know, into vampires, or if they're interested in wanting to do a web series or do something on YouTube, you know, I'll talk to them about, like, you know, how I have a YouTube channel that I haven't really been taking care of. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'll talk about it more than I'll show it. But it's not something that like I'm ashamed of. I think that this season in particular, I'm very proud of for doing it while I was still in college and with the talented people that I surrounded myself with that made it happen. Yeah. Do I show people the first season? No. And I think that I and everyone, for the most part, can agree that we kind of, we don't talk about the first season. The first season, I think I can laugh about it now. Like, okay. It was not the best. There you go. Now the minisodes, yeah, I like the minisodes for sure. I think they turned out a lot better that time around after mistakes were made and lessons learned. And but again, once when we finally started surrounding ourselves with people who knew more than us, or who were excited to do something or to film something, that's when it really came together. And a lot of it was a learning process for so many of us. And I think that's what made it very special, in addition to the fact that it was a story that was fun to tell. It was that we were all cultivating the talent and the skills that we would eventually need now, and that a lot of people are out there in the professional world doing now. Like our regularly lighting gaffer guy is now working on union film sets all the time, and there's so many people. I'm pretty sure one of our editors or scripties, she works as an editor. You know, some of the people who worked sound also, or did DP work or camera work, they freelance a lot on the side, or occasionally work on music videos. And yeah, people have just really taken off, and it's really exciting to see how people have grown and moved into their own field with it. So yeah, sometimes I do for sure talk about it. That was a long answer, but there you go. Did you have fun making the episodes? This is from Raising Shadow Angel. I'm trying to remember. It's like digging through the vaults of your memory, trying to remember that far back. But there were definitely some fun days, and then there were definitely some like stressful days that me and Jen would just look at each other and like, we're just gonna get through this. We're doing it for the fans. And then it became, we're doing it to finish it. Just some days were just very, very long and hard. And, you know, as much as I want to encourage people to do web series like this, I want to prepare you. It is a lot of work. It will take a lot out of you. It is more demanding than you may realize. It is going to take away a lot of your time. It's going to take away a lot of your money. It's going to take away a lot of your ability to think clearly. But at the same time, you're going to meet a lot of people. If you surround yourself with people to help you make it and don't try to do this on your own, you're going to learn so much from the process. You're going to occasionally just be hysterically tired, and sometimes that's going to make some of the funniest moments for you guys behind the scenes. And then sometimes you're just like forming a camaraderie, like you're going to battle and you've made it out on the other side. And when you've said cut for the last time, or that's a wrap for the last time, and a lot of times it was fun. A lot of times it was very, very stressful. A lot of times it was a huge blender of the two. So I think that answers that question. I would say that I remember more the stress of it, unfortunately. Like sitting here now thinking about it, there's definitely some peak moments though of fun that I do remember. Like after we had filmed with Chase and Justin outside of the hallways in the school, I think it was like episode 3, that was in the science building, and we had ordered pizza and we were having like our own little pizza hangout out there, and we had to keep yelling cut because the lady was cleaning the floors down below us with the big machine that, you know, that like polishes the floor, and just kind of like, all right, well, this is what happens when you choose a main auditorium part of the school, or people just deciding to walk right through a shot, and we're like, all right, how about you move it, like, move it along so that we can move on with our lives too. You know, there's different fun moments like that. There was, the one thing that stands out in my memory is filming in the Batica basement. That is where a huge chunk of filming took place. It was at one of our crew members' house, just in her basement. And gosh, I think we filmed there for 4.5 days, something like that. And it was just so much. We filmed part of episode 1. We filmed part of like the end scene, I think, of episode 4, The Thing You Love Most. A lot of 5, if not all of 5. And then a majority of 6. Is that right? Am I on the right count? I think that's right. I think that's correct. But it was just, man, that day, those days were for sure battle days, because everyone had a schedule that they had to keep to. Everyone had something we had to work around. But Oh, there were moments where we were just like exhausted laughing. You know how you get like slap happy when you get too tired and you're just laughing at everything? That's where it got to sometimes. So that was, you know, I think we posted a couple of things on our Snapchat, like just dancing when somebody was wrapped, or people just passed out taking a nap while we were waiting for the next actor to show up for his or her scene, or somebody come back for lunch with all of our food. But man, I think it was the first 2 days that were hardest for that, but like the last two, it was like and then there were other days that was just like the first day of filming, I think, was the most fun. It was the training scene with Rose and Mason. That was just very much me stumbling through it because the person who was supposed to DP ended up not being able to make it for the first half of filming. So I had to grab a camera, figure it out, and make it happen. And I think we ended up having to reshoot that scene because just the way that the shot was filmed was too shaky. We had to redo it, but I think it turned out really well, how it ended up. And it was like a fun little reunion too, because we hadn't seen JD, who plays Mason, in a long time, and just getting to talk to him. It was the first time we got to work with Charles, I think, that day. And then I think either later on that day or the next day, we filmed Rose and Dimitri outside, you know, the scene where she's walking to her car. And that was so much fun. There were so many laughs. I think that same day we also filmed, no, that one was a different day. So it was me, Tatiana, not Tatiana, what's her real name? Kelly. Me, Kelly, Charles, Jen, and Justin. And that car ride each time was just so funny. I can't even remember the jokes that we made when we were driving back and forth, but it was the one time where I could take off my director hat and be a little immature and fun and have somebody outside calling the action and being serious. So that was fun for me. I think another fun one that we had was when we were out in the woods for the dream sequence with Chase, who plays Adrian, and Jen, filming out there. That was kind of fun. Yeah, lots of cute little moments that we had, lots of fun moments. I would say that hangouts together afterwards were really fun too, because there were days that we would go see a movie or go to Chili's or just hang out and talk. Yeah, I would say that I had fun. That was a really long answer, but hopefully I gave you some tea. I don't know why, but that just seems so cheesy to me now to make that joke. All right, down to business. I've stalled long enough. So here we are in the middle of October. My goal is to have it by October 30th, but like I said, with a lot of the production dates that are coming up, and with me still in the process of unpacking and needing to do a lot of other stuff, I am going to officially now, I'm going to set the date of November 27th as the official cutoff time of it's going to be there, whether it's finished or not. And in fact, my plan is to, as soon as I get the computer set up, to export a version of the show that as it is right now and have it ready to premiere if I'm unable to finish, for whatever reason, any of these other tweaks that I wanted to do. Just so that way you guys can go ahead and have your show. I mean, it's not anything super major that I would want to change to it unless I start getting copyright issues with some of the songs that I chose. In that case, I would need to tweak a couple of things, but you know, the main things that need to be fixed are the eyes for, what are they? Roy Dampier. Oh my God, I have forgotten what they're called. Strigoi. Oh my God, that was bad. The eyes for the Strigoi. I need to, that was what the freelance person took care of while I was really busy. And the credit scenes, there might be a couple of other things that I wanted to tweak, like at the beginning. Right now the recap is really long because it's been a long time since anybody's watched the show, or if you haven't seen it from the very first season, the recap is going to help you a lot. I still recommend you go back and watch them, so that way you know for sure what's going to happen, or what it's leading into, and just in case there's anything left out, so that I could save time on the recap moment. I'm also planning to release bloopers, one more round of bloopers for the last thing. We'll see. I might release that before the episode, just so that way you guys can have some content before then. And yeah, here we are. And I'll let you know if I finish it sooner. My hope is that I can have it by October 31st in a perfect world. But if the world ends up not being so perfect, mark your calendars for November 27th, just in case. We'll just say for now this on November 27th, and I'll let you know if anything happens differently between here and now. And you'll know for sure when we're getting close, when I start posting scene images like I used to for the last episode. So, okay. I love you guys so much. Again, thank you for sticking around this long and for staying watching a 30-minute video now. I'll see you guys around. Bye.